Howdy y'all, welcome back to Rat's Nest Hot Rods. Today we are going to use the Custom Coat Custom Shop Bedliner from TCP Global. And you can see here some of the hardener was actually the Raptor liner. This is the same stuff, I'm sure it's just repackaged. I bought the 6-liter kit. Comes with the hardener and the gun. And what I'm going to do is shoot the inside of the firewall, the floors, the up the back of the car, up to the package tray on the inside, and then jump around and take care of the trunk, get all the wheel wells, the inner wheel wells, the trunk floor, the package tray from the back side, and then trunk hinges and all that good stuff. This took me 4 of the 6 liters. I put it on fairly thick, and I think the trick to using this stuff is getting, anywhere from 24 to even 36 inches away from the what you're hitting it, what you're spraying it on. Gives a lot better texture, at least the texture that I wanted. You just got to kind of play with it. The gun has adjustments too. It's a fairly simple little Schutz gun is what I would call this thing. Comes with a regulator and worked pretty good. It's got an adjustable nozzle so you can adjust the pattern. Obviously your regulator, well, that's more of just an air valve, but works good to see what you're working with. You can test it out on kind of spray it out and get the pattern you like, and then really I think more important than anything, once you have enough air pressure, I think the key is the distance, so keeping a mindful eye on that. I think I started around 18 inches and then backed off to get the texture that I like. I'll speed this up a little bit, and we'll cut back in if something interesting pops up. Alright, let's slow it back down. Okay, so this mix is 3 to 1, 8.454 ounces. So what does that mean? Basically, you see the smaller cans with the Raptor on it, like that one I'm holding right now. There's 250 milliliters in there. And then the liter-sized Custom Coat Bedliner is 750 milliliters. So basically what you're doing is mixing 250 milliliters of hardener to 750 milliliters of the Bedliner, 3 to 1. And I just wanted to make sure that that was exactly 250 milliliters in there. I don't know why, maybe for video purposes or my OCD. And that is correct. It comes right about 8.4 ounces. All right, so you mix that amount in one of those bottles of Custom Coat, and you'll see that here. Mix it right in the bottle, and shaky, and you're ready to rock. What else can I say? 2-part urethane. This is a 2K product, so it's tough. It gets really, doesn't get really hard. It remains flexible, but it's not like gummy, like shooting an undercoating. It's kind of permanently not cured, I guess that's the right word. This stuff cures just like a real bed liner. And yeah, so we'll let me speed up the shaking because that's really freaking boring, and then we'll do some test sprays and start shooting the car. Like I said earlier, distance is your friend with this. That's about 18 inches or so. Looks a little strange from this angle, about 18 inches. I'm adjusting the spray pattern with the nozzle in and out, see what you like. And I'm shooting at 80 psi right here, and I end up kicking it up closer to 100 when I spray the car. That way you go back 24 and 36 inches. It puts a good light texture, pretty granular, not like big and chunky, and it's not smooth. I've seen some guys that get right on these things. It's like 6 inches away, and it just doesn't look good. Again, distance is your friend, and kind of load it up when you get into the spraying. I did one coat on all of the stuff you're going to see, and I put it on pretty thick. But if this was a truck bed, I'd want to do 2 coats, and if I had the same square footage as the trunk and the inside the car, then I would have needed definitely the 8 liters. I have 2 left over right now, but I definitely, if I was going to do a long bed pickup truck, I would buy the 8 liters, and I would use every damn one of those bottles and get it on there really good and thick. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the videos of where they're spraying at Linex and they use just this giant fire hose, but that's kind of where I saw the distance is kind of really key. Those guys stay back, 3 feet, almost 4 feet to get the look they want. After they lay down a good wet coat, they come back and texture coat it, I guess, from a long ways away. And I did pretty much the same thing on the car, and it seemed to work. Get down, get it on there good and wet, and then back the gun off in distance. Leave everything else the same, and then go back over it. It'll kind of matte the finish a little bit. I've seen a lot of guys where they'll leave it streaky and glossy, and it will gloss on you because it is a urethane. The farther back you get, it'll kind of dry a little bit in the air, and then it lays down that matte finish that you want. Reason for doing this to the car: lots of patch panels welded into this bad boy. It's going to be a while before it's on the road. I wanted something to kind of tie everything together so I didn't have to look at it anymore. Give it kind of a uniform coat of something. You can see in the car, the whole inside of the car has been sprayed with an epoxy primer from Omni. Same stuff I used on the outside of the car, I used on the inside, including the roof, the inside of the firewall, the trunk, everything. So shot the epoxy primer down after a thorough cleaning, and then the next day went in with the custom coat Bedliner, as you see here. I'll speed it up a little bit, not too much, and then come back when we get into the trunk. And there you have it, folks. This masking, much necessary. I'm glad that this is a high build primer that needs to be block sand. I'm glad also that I put down the masking because it did save me a bunch on the overspray when I got up into that package tray area. So do mask it up. I like the product. TCP Global Custom Coat Bedliner. Check it out. Please subscribe. Thanks for the likes, guys. Peace and grease, sucker.